Time to talk a little NHL. And last night in Boston, we mentioned it earlier, and I will again, David Pastrnak scored twice, including a tie-breaking power play goal in the third, lifting the Bruins over the Seattle Kraken 3-2. Mike Benton hosts Seattle Kraken broadcast out of Seattle. Good friend of ours, and he joins us today from the Emerald City. How you doing, Benton, on the mic?
Rod, great to hear from you, my friend. I know when I start my day with you guys in this show, it's going to be a great one. So I'm feeling great. How about you, man?
Good to hear it. Good to hear. It's funny you say we're middle of the afternoon out here on the East Coast, and there you are all the way out in Seattle. Last time we had you on, Mike, the Kraken were somewhat, like it was very early in the season, and it looked like they were going to threaten to do something. Now, last place in the Pacific Division, and I'm just wondering if they still have the attention of the Seattle sports fan. How is this first season going over, given the fact that the playoffs look like not happening?
Well, certainly, I think when you compare the expectations of back in the summer to now, we were certainly miles ahead back then as far as where we thought this team would be. Now, that being said, they are an expansion team here in season one. Some people who have waited not just for years, but for decades to have NHL hockey in the Seattle area have been trying to look at really more of the underlying parts of this season and enjoy them step by step, despite the mounting losses. So attendance has been great. Turnout has been great. There have been a few more empty seats in the lower bowl and the upper bowl, but nothing that is really of alarming concern, I think. So, I think a lot of people are really understanding around this area, despite how tough losses are, of how long it takes really to build a winner. And once we got past that phase of trying to compare this team to the previous folks on stage in the Vegas Golden Knights, there was more understanding of really how long-term you had to look as far as a build of this team right from its foundation. I want to say back in December, we had a chance to take a look at the metrics here with how progress has been made for this team versus other expansion teams since the big boom of the 1990s. And you take Vegas out of the equation, the only team that was better than the Seattle Kraken was the Florida Panthers under Roger Nielsen back in 93-94. So a lot of patience really has been required to absorb this build. You're going to take some body blows here, and the Kraken certainly did so last night in Boston, coming back to tie it, then losing on a power play goal. Then the Ranger game on Sunday, coming back to tie it, extra attacker goal. Then all of a sudden, boom, Keandre Miller scores from the point. But you're hearing a lot of talk from the room about building a culture, building a winner, and not just that, but finding ways to embrace the area outside the glass. The Kraken certainly are checking out those boxes here in season one.
Oh, there's no doubt. Just as a Golden Knights fan, and they are still my number one team, I didn't think that they'd come close to matching Vegas, and they really haven't. But having said that, there's been 10 pole wins, Mike, like I said, and I've listened to you on some of these broadcasts. Sweeping the Florida Panthers, for instance, in the regular season is sitting well. You've had some big home wins. Like, talk about those. What have been the high points for the Kraken in their expansion season?
You know what? I have to think back and remember what the building sounded like. December 3rd against the Edmonton Oilers, the end of their win against the Florida Panthers, and think, man, how loud would this sound come Stanley Cup playoff time? You always hear that Seattle fans are well known for their passion, for their volume. I had a chance to experience it WHL level, Everett Silvertips games, Seattle Thunderbirds games, even, don't discredit, teams like Spokane and Tri-City when they pack their venues out. There's a lot of passion which translates into energy and volume, and we're seeing that translate to the Major League Sports team, the Seahawks, and now present day with the Kraken. So moments like that matter. People go home and think, what's it going to be like when you see a team that takes that next step, that then contends for a playoff spot, then gets into the Stanley Cup playoffs? I had to envision what this arena is going to be like from a home ice advantage. It's like a 17,000 seat fishbowl. You have seats stacked on top of one another, just kind of like Bell Center in Montreal, and we all know how loud Bell Center is out there. So from a bit of a lesser scale, but from more of an acoustic standpoint, when you can tap into that energy players and head coach Dave Axtell have mentioned how much it can be an advantage for them when it comes to big games, like when Edmonton was on a heater and they came in back in December and they took down some giants like in the Carolina Hurricanes and the Florida Panthers. Crowd volume makes a big difference, and I have to think when they can take that next step after this season, years down the road, how much of an asset that's going to be in Stanley Cup playoff time, and it's going to be huge.
Mike, we got 2 minutes. I got two questions. One, Climate Pledge Arena. I've called several games out of there when it was the Key Arena. Is it even recognizable after the renos from what it used to be?
Yeah, good question, Rod. To me, it's a brand new building. I had a chance to enjoy a concert there about 3.5 years ago, right before they shut the building down, wiped it clean. So basically, they took the 40 million pound roof, suspended it, so to speak, using, super strain poles to keep it up, and just wipe the entire deck clean and built a brand new arena underneath. I came in before the Canucks game for the home opener back in October, and I went, oh my goodness. It was just like taking your house, stripping it down right to the foundation, tearing off the drywall, the wallpaper, the carpet, everything, and putting everything brand new, turnkey, like you're just watching an HGTV show. So it really is top of the line, and it's been very, very enjoyable.
All right, thank you. And lastly, my boy Ebbs, Jordan Eberle, the lone Kraken All-Star. You saw Nathan McKinnon grumbling that not every team should be represented in the All-Star game. He felt he should have some Avs teammates on there. I disagree. Jordan Eberle will be going to the All-Star game. Is there some buzz about that in the Emerald City that Ebbs will be representing your team in Vegas?
Well, certainly people have enjoyed Jordan Eberle and what he's done here for season one. And, it's really been, I think, telltale how much of a difference he's made for the Islanders when he was there playing alongside Matt Barzal. And at times, he's had a chance to really drive offense on this team. And at one point was on pace for a 40-goal season with this team. He's hit the skids now. He's about now 20 games without a goal. But, scores are going to be streaky. They're going to have ups and downs. The one thing, though, that you enjoy about Jordan Eberle, the consistency of his attitude, there's no panic in his game. That's made a big difference, and Jared McCann has taken that next step and has now taken the lead in goal scoring. So Jordan Eberle, for what he's done, earning the first hat trick in franchise history, really establishing a footprint as their go-to guy to generate offense. A lot of celebration here for Eberle. And funny enough, he goes right from playing the Islanders this evening, his former team, right into the All-Star break. What a week for him.
He's always a busy guy. He's always playing in the big games and the big tournaments. And he's loving Seattle, too, by the way, Mike, I'm glad that it's worked out for everybody. Man, keep up the great job. I'm listening all the way out here in Florida. Enjoy the All-Star break.
As always, Rod, thank you, my friend. Appreciate it.
Thank you, buddy. Give him a follow on Twitter, Benton on the mic. Mike Benton, Seattle Kraken broadcaster. Hey, everybody. Thanks for watching the RP Show on YouTube. And don't forget, we're live daily on YouTube from noon to 2 Eastern. If you like what you see, hit subscribe. And if you like the program, check around for other segments of the Rod Pedersen Show here on YouTube.